and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are going to begin. Okay, let us stand for the national anthem, please. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Donovan Stanberry, Campus Registrar and your MC this evening rather. And I'm very, very pleased to welcome you all to the launch of the Sexual Harassment and Prevention Policy for the University of the West Indies in MonaMedia. The University of the West Indies is an equal opportunity institution. Accordingly, sexual harassment, an aspect of gender discrimination and violence, is expressly prohibited and will not be tolerated. And I'm so happy that so many of us, well, I haven't signed yet, but so many of you have signed, committed to upholding these high ideals. The university is committed to ensuring and maintaining a safe and healthy educational and work environment which is free from sexual harassment. The university will reflect this policy of non-tolerance of sexual harassment in the oversight of its students, employees, persons under its independent service arrangements, other persons who provide academic services to the university, as well as its contractual agreements, independent service arrangement, and its interaction with members of the public. This is very important for us. It's not only something that is nice to have at the university, but as the minister will tell you when she gets here, it's also our obligation under the law. And we are so happy this evening that we have done what it takes in terms of the institutional and policy framework to be compliant with the law, and we expect every member of our community to comply and to work with us to make this a safe working environment. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you today among us at this important launch. First of all, I want to welcome Her Excellency High Commissioner Judith Slater, High Commissioner of the United Kingdom in Jamaica. Please give her a hand. And the British High Commission has helped us considerably in training our students, etc., and matters relating to sexual harassment. So we're very pleased to have you, High Commissioner. I want to welcome Campus Principal, Professor Denzel Williams. I want to welcome our Deputy Principal, Professor Marvin Reed, Campus Bursar, Mrs. Park Twits, Catherine. I want to welcome Mr. Jonathan Archie, our Deputy Campus Registrar. We have many of our deans here this afternoon and other members of our senior management team. Please welcome them. I want to especially welcome Mrs. Florette Blackwood, Senior Strategist and Gender in the Ministry of, I don't know if I'll get the order right, but I certainly know all the elements: gender, entertainment, sports, and culture. I don't know if that is the order, but please welcome Mr. Flores Blackwood. I want to welcome our guild president, Ms. Amalora Wilson. I'm not sure if the president-elect is here. Mr. President-elect, please, we welcome you, sir. Please stand and be acknowledged. And we have a huge contingent of students. That is very good. And of course, we have other members of staff here. I would like to particularly single out Dr. Karen Carpenter, who with her team, she works with a team who really, that team was the driver behind getting our policy in place and all the arrangements, and I think that she deserves a recognition at this stage. So ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite, just to advise you, Minister Olivia Bobsy Grange is on her way, and we think she will get here by the time she's ready to speak. She's very committed to this, but you know that minister have many hats, especially when you have so many portfolios, and of course today's Parliament. So we expect her here soon enough, where we'll introduce her again. But for now, may I invite our principal, Professor Denzel Williams, to bring some words of greetings. Principal.
Thank you very much, Registrar. I'm happy that you didn't say that I was going to filibuster before the minister comes. But let me just greet all of you. It's so good to see everyone. Let me recognize High Commissioner Slater and our distinguished members from the ministry, and also our distinguished members from the UWI executive who are here as well. And most importantly, I really would like to recognize and celebrate our students who have joined us this evening. I think that's a very, very good show to see our students joining for this very important occasion. This evening is really about the work that our Institute of Gender and Development Studies have done in partnership with all of the other areas of our campus. And so I really want us to celebrate the thought leadership that is coming from that unit this evening, because for a very long time before the topic of sexual harassment was very sexy, the UWI found it useful and important to take the lead on creating what we consider to be not only an excellent university, but an ethical university. And in that context, we go where other people do not go, which we look at things that are important to create a harmonious relationship in our community. And so we take the opportunity to do things that will create this kind of harmony within our community so that we can have an excellent relationship among staff, students, and all the stakeholders in the community. And so 2016, when the issue of sexual harassment and those things were not really hot topic of the day, the UWI, through its own process of thought leadership, would have gone about initiating its own sexual harassment policy. And we fast forward 8 years on, and what we're now seeing is not only ethical to do, it is now legal that we must have that. And so today, I really want to celebrate our UWI and especially our Mona campus for being one of the first organizations in Jamaica, actually, to comply with the legal requirements of instituting a sexual harassment policy. And we must give credit to our unit, Institute of Gender and Development Studies unit, for really spearheading this effort for our Mona campus. But let me say that while we speak about sexual harassment and other issues to do with gender equity, diversity, etc., it is important to note that these are not just concepts or words that we say without any profound meaning. We at the Mona campus, we take these things very seriously. And while we take them very seriously, we also have to ensure that we are not flippant about them as well. And so whatever we do in order to secure a harmonious working relationship, they have to be done within the confines of our statutes and ordinances, because this provides a framework within which we operate as a community. Otherwise, we are in chaos. And so it is important that our community and our members appreciate that there are processes and procedures that we will have to adhere to when we think through issues to do with sexual harassment, gender issues, equity, diversity, and all those critical issues that are so foundational for an ethical university. Because if we do not adhere to our processes and our systems and procedures, what we'll see happening is that we will have a community that is just operating in chaos and everybody fails. So it is very important that we are cognizant of the critical importance of these policies and regulatory frameworks, but these policies and regulatory frameworks can't be trifled on in a way that it creates chaos in the community. So what we'll have to do is to make sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's and do all the necessary things to ensure that we adhere to our statutes and our ordinances and our regulations. And in so doing that, I'm very pleased today that despite launching this policy, and this policy will add another about $14 million to our salary cost, because we have to now have a gender coordinator, a sexual harassment coordinator, and we now have to have a kind of a portfolio of work that is going to ensure that we stick to the policy, that we make sure that all complaints are properly investigated and all procedures and all parties are properly treated and given justice accordingly. That is adding $14 million to our salary bill. And some people would say, wow, that's a huge cost. But it's 14 million reasons why we must do it. Because it is something that is very important to the harmonious relationship within our community. And we do this today, as I said before, not because it is only legal, but because it's also ethical for us to do. So without, Madam PS, without the ministry and the government saying to us, you must institute a gender policy, we at the UWI find it important that this is something that we must institute, even without a legal requirement, because it creates that atmosphere where our workers can feel comfortable working in our environment. And we take that very, very seriously. And so I am very pleased today with the work that our Institute of Gender and Development Studies have done in collaboration with our legal department, our secretariat, and all the other places on the campus who have worked tirelessly to ensure that our university is in compliance with the rules and regulations of our country, but is also creating an ethical university. We must celebrate Dr. Carpenter and her team, and also celebrate all the others who have contributed. We're very proud that UWI has taken the lead in Jamaica to comply with the law, and this is a very historic moment for us because we will be the first institution. I think the law takes effect on June 1, and today we are launching our policy on May 28. So we are ahead of time. The university should be celebrated and be proud of that. Rest assured that your university is here to ensure a harmonious working relationship among all members of the community, barring none. We do not take discrimination lightly. We do not take things like inequity and things to do with, discrimination generally. We have in our strategic plan a core value of diversity, and that speaks to who we are as a community. And so we want to ensure that as we continue to build a harmonious working relationship, we respect the tenets of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you very much, and celebrating again the work of our IGDS for this important occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal, for your own contribution in as chair of FNGPC, who was able to have this policy approved. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to advise you that what we are doing today is not just gimmick. You hear about 14 million, that's big money. But in addition to the personnel, we also have the systems in place to ensure that aggrieved persons, victims, etc., can in fact engage the process, make their reports, their complaints, and have them properly investigated and adjudicated based on our disciplinary proceedings. So it is my pleasure to advise you that not only are we ready with our policy, but our sexual harassment prevention and protection website is now live, and we can visit the URL. It is www.mona.edu/sexual-harassment. I think there's going to be a little demonstration, so it's on the screen as we speak, so that you know that this is no gimmick. Please give the people of MITS a big hand who are able to put it together in record time. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure now to invite Dr. Karen Carpenter, the head of our Institute for Gender and Development Studies, who will now come and give an overview of our policy. Dr. Carpenter.
Thank you, Registrar. As we've become accustomed to doing, and my protocol officer will tell me if the right protocol, all protocols having been observed, I'd like to welcome, certainly re-welcome and welcome again, our representative, Ms. Blackwood from the ministry. Thank you for being with us. We hope that your being with us will bring the minister in even faster, yes, and give her a safe journey here. I want to recognize, of course, our British High Commissioner and partner in this project. They say timing is everything. Well, the British High Commission in Jamaica stepped in at a very opportune time, and I'll tell you some more about that. Our executive management team of the university, I want to recognize them as well. And of course, all our students. I was very happy to hear Principal Williams mention students. I know we have our students trying to sit in the back there, but I'm very happy that they're here. Our guild representatives, we really want to thank you for the work that you do. And I'm just going to provide a brief overview of what it is that has taken us to this point. Before I do that, I really want to ask if you're sitting in the audience and you are a gender focal point or a sexual harassment complaints focal point, whether a peer advisor or a staff advisor, just raise your hand. I know you're not going to stand up. I just want you to see that they're in the room. Yes? And the students at the back, our incoming president, and all of you who have attended workshops already and have worked on this policy, we want to recognize you. Today marks the culmination. Yes, let us recognize them, because it's taken a village. It's taken a village. Today marks the culmination of 3 years of work. We began with a small task force under Principal Weber, who had the foresight to understand that 3 years later, we would need to comply with this regulation. So a tiny little task force started this process 3 years ago, and that grew into the Sexual Harassment Complaints Committee, which was a 19-member committee across the campus in Kingston and across the University of the West Indies, Mona, in the Western region. Let me not forget that our other campus is in the Western region. So together, both campuses, with 19 representatives, worked on 3 aspects of the policy and procedures, which updated our 2016/2017 policy to what is now our 2024 policy. And if number of pages is any mark of what we did, we went from 10 pages to 21. So we also added a bill for the campus of 14 million, but I love that tagline, Principal, I'm going to steal it, 14 million reasons. I love that tagline. So yes, that's where we're starting. I really want to recognize the work of each and every representative who met tirelessly for over a year, no matter how many meetings we brought them to, and worked also in their subgroups. In the subsequent year, with Principal Williams now at the helm, we brought that group down to the leads of each of the main areas, and we have many, many reports that resulted from it, and then shrank those into what is now the policy. I cannot overemphasize how much the Office of the Campus Registrar has been absolutely amazing in supporting this effort. So I really do feel that all the work, yes. I really do feel the commitment of the campus to address these issues, to bring cultural awareness to us about why it's not okay to do certain things, and to also show us a way that we can interact more professionally in the workplace and still have good relationships. It doesn't stop us having good relationships, but the Office of the Campus Registrar has been committed the entire way and has been extremely supportive in guiding us in what we needed to do to bring this to fruition. So I feel like I've said to my staff, I now work with a registrar, okay? So thank you, Registrar, for all your guidance. The policy that we're launching today underscores our commitment as members of the UWI campus, not just the executive, but each and every member of the campus, because that consultation process that took an entire year to go to every single faculty board and have 2 representatives of our 19-person committee at every single faculty board for a year, and then to academic board, that means every constituent on this campus, staff, students, and visitors to the campus will know in due time that we are serious about this commitment. We're serious about a workplace that allows everyone safe enjoyment of their place of work and allows students to come in and leave feeling that we're protecting them and we're upholding good standards. We've changed the previous policy in 3 substantial ways, and that's what I want to point out as I speak to some of the things that we have been able to do through the funding of the British High Commission. First of all, this new policy enshrines the legal framework that exists in the country, and we feel very proud that we are in step with the law. We feel very proud that not only are we upholding it, but we're proactive in ensuring that people's rights are protected, both complainants and respondents. Let's be clear. This is not just about complainants. This is not a gendered policy, even though it comes out of gender. It is gender neutral, and it refers to anyone who is being in any way harassed on the campus. So I'm very proud that we've been able to enshrine that in the policy. It adheres to best practices because it brings to us, for the first time, a trauma-informed approach to dealing with complaints. It accepts that these kinds of behaviors within the workplace traumatize people, and therefore people need a psychosocial support in addressing these issues. This is novel, and it's gold standard for WHO and other world leaders. So I'm very proud to be associated with this policy. It also dovetails with existing disciplinary procedures. It doesn't throw away the disciplinary procedures that we already have, but rather it dovetails with and strengthens the efforts that the campus has been making over these 75 years and gender justice has been making over these 30 years to ensure that staff and students are well protected. And that brings me to that thing of timing. Just as we were getting to the last lap of this policy document and really reducing our committee to 3 amazingly hardworking people, and I must recognize Dr. Gillian Mason is sitting here, Dr. Debbie Ann Chambers, and myself, who worked on that last leg, and let me tell you, they worked flat out, and they were meticulous, and I really appreciate that effort. That last lap saw us being engaged with the British High Commission, and serendipity, call it luck, call it good guzum, whatever you call it. But we were able, through the High Commissioner's assistance, to put together a student package. So our students have actually been more engaged in training than our staff has been. We've trained 200 students with the assistance of the British High Commission in sexual harassment awareness. We have 50 trained peer advisors among those 200 students, and they have their certificates to prove that they did their intensive training. These very students, as part of the action research that we did with them, produced products, and you'll see some of that later on as we go ahead. And they produced little videos for TikTok, which have been up on TikTok and up on our site. They produce posters to inform others about what are the 9 types of sexual harassment, what is the right to consent, etc. And also we have the materials in Braille, yes, and sign language. So this is what you call, you know, taking $1 and making it into like, what is it, $13 million? So that set of materials is like absolutely invaluable to us. If you go in any student bathroom across the campus, you should see 2 orange posters. See, Amalora is shaking her head, nodding and saying yes. Our outgoing guild president is attesting to that. On every hall of residence, these posters are in the bathrooms so that students can think about and reacculturate into a new way of dealing with each other. Flirtation is not the issue. It's the unwelcome attention that's the issue. And we have to learn to operate in the workplace, be polite, and also be considerate of the feelings of others. So I'm very happy to be part of this journey. And I'm very happy with the student effort. It's been amazing. And you'll hear more from them as the evening wears on. So in the room and in the Zoom, I think we owe ourselves, as Ms. Lou said, a big clap. We're there, we've done it. Well done, Mona Campus.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carpenter. Please give her another hand. I want to advise you, ladies and gentlemen, that the most disappointed person in Jamaica at this time is Minister Grange. Unfortunately, she cannot leave Parliament because there is a critical vote. But like every wise person, she made a contingent. And we always knew that the program will not flop this evening. And so it is my great pleasure. As a former civil servant, I have done that so many times as standby for the minister. And I'm sure that Ms. Floretta Blackwood is going to deliver. She's a senior strategist on gender in the Ministry of Gender, Culture, Entertainment and Sport, and she's eminently qualified to deliver the minister's message. Ms. Blackwood, welcome.
Thank you. I first of all would like to again apologize for Minister's absence. And she is really a person who, and the Minister, who is very dedicated to the cause of gender equality. And it's truly unfortunate that she's not able to be here this afternoon. I am going to take the opportunity to read her message. First of all, I'd just like to acknowledge the principal, the registrar, Dr. Karen Carpenter, Her Excellency Judith Slater, faculty, staff, executive members, students, and distinguished guests all. I now read the minister's message. Thank you for inviting me to celebrate with you on this historic occasion of the launch of the university's sexual harassment, prevention, and protection policy. On behalf of the government of Jamaica, and as the minister with responsibility for gender affairs, I take this opportunity to offer sincere congratulations to the entire University of the West Indies, Mona campus, for developing the policy in a timely manner and being compliant with the Sexual Harassment, Protection and Prevention Policy Act 2021. As a leading academic institution, you have exemplified best practices in scientific, socio-economic development, and governance. Once more, you have demonstrated the importance of respecting and promoting human rights and human dignity of all. The launch publicly signals your institution's unwavering commitment to create and maintain a safe and healthy environment that is free from sexual harassment and any form of violence and discrimination. With this commitment, however, comes the need for vigilance, transparency, respect, and trust, actions that we must stridently advance and uphold. I announce in Parliament and on several platforms that the Act was passed to address all forms of sexual harassment in the workplace, educational institutions, medical facilities, accommodation settings, nursing homes, correctional facilities, among others. Additionally, the Act is intended to bring hope to victims of sexual harassment and make it clear that Government of Jamaica is committed to upholding the dignity and rights of its people. Sexual harassment is not a new phenomenon. It is a very serious issue that has plagued societies. Culturally, we have accepted certain social norms which over the years have negatively affected both women and men. Some people were fearful to speak out and formally make reports, in some cases due to an absence of provision and framework in place to protect them, or even where there might be provisions, the processes and protocols were difficult to navigate and often intimidating. Findings of research conducted within the public and private sectors by the Bureau of Gender Affairs within my ministry reveal that both women and men experience sexual harassment in the workplace, with males being less likely to report the incidents. In addition, while women were more likely to make a complaint, there was little confidence that their complaints would be appropriately addressed, if at all. The research also reported that the harassers were predominantly, though not exclusively, men and those in authority. It is the extensive research, other evidentiary support, calls by the society and global trends that led my ministry to initiate the consultations, public sensitization, advocacy, bipartisan involvement and dialogue, and finally, championing the enactment of the Jamaica Sexual Harassment, Protection and Prevention Legislation 2021. It cannot be overstated. It is very important to note that the Act is gender neutral to dispel any notion that only women and girls are sexually harassed. This is inclusive of both sexes and empowers all victims to report their experiences. I want to use this opportunity to share with everyone, especially for those who may still be unsure of the definition of sexual harassment. According to Section 1 of the legislation, sexual harassment is defined as the making of any unwelcome sexual advance towards a person by another person, which is regarded as offensive or humiliating by the person towards whom the sexual advance is made, or has the effect of interfering with the work performance of the person to whom the sexual advance is made, or creating an intimidating, offensive, or hostile work environment. Consequently, all employers and persons in charge of an institution have a duty to ensure that the environment is free of sexual harassment. Section 3, Article 1 of the Act clearly outlines that an employer shall make every reasonable effort to ensure that the workers employed by the employer are not sexually harassed in the course of their employment. It goes further to state in Section 3, Article 2, that a person who is in charge of an institution shall make every reasonable effort to ensure that the students, residents, wards, inmates, patients, or members, as the case may be, of that institution are not sexually harassed. These employers and persons in charge of institutions must issue a policy document in writing concerning the prevention of sexual harassment in the business or undertaking and the protection of their workers from sexual harassment. Likewise for the persons in charge of an institution. Section 4, subsections 1 and 2 also emphasize this. In an article published by the UN Women entitled 4 Actions to Forge Workplaces Free from Sexual Harassment, dated October 2023, it was stated that gender equality and safe working environments can only be achieved in a world free from violence and harassment. I agree and would like to use this platform to reinforce that my government acknowledges its role in ensuring that the necessary actions are taken to implement laws to address any form of gender-based violence in our country. I'm pleased to say that Jamaica has made significant strides combating sexual harassment in the workplace. The passing of the legislation is just one such action, and we lead many countries in this regard. Our women and girls, men and boys must participate in society without fear of any form of harassment. Sexual harassment affects one's economic livelihood. It negatively impacts on one's health, and it is a violation of one's human rights to just and favorable condition of work. I implore individuals to make a report to their employers or persons who oversee their institution if they have experienced any form of sexual harassment. I must hasten to remind the public that a sexual harassment tribunal will be operationalized, and the 14-member tribunal will form panels that will hear and determine cases of sexual harassment and make an award. This tribunal was created in keeping with the Sexual Harassment, Protection and Prevention Act. And Minister also spoke to the composition of the tribunal, which I won't detail at this time. In closing, I want to let all Jamaicans know that as Minister, in closing, I want to let all Jamaicans know that as the Minister with responsibility for gender, I'm determined and committed to Jamaica achieving its vision as the place to work, live, do business, and raise families. Once more, heartiest congratulations to the UWI MONA for developing its sexual harassment prevention and protection policy. This is a significant milestone in the history of this distinguished institution. I look forward to your continued leadership as we strive to protect the rights and dignity of all. This is also a call to action for all educational institutions, facilities, workplaces to take the necessary steps to ensure that they are compliant with the new legislation. The deadline for the development of their sexual harassment workplace policy is the end of June 2024. I anticipate full support. Feel free to call us. We are available to assist. Thank you, and God's continued blessing on your institution. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Blackwood. Another round of applause, please. So you have heard, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says, he that hath an ear to hear, let him hear. I commit not to harass anybody, and I beg you, please, don't harass me either, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, our entertainment comes from a fellow Pelican, Miss Johnny Okay, so let me go again. Our entertainment comes to us from a fellow Pelican, Miss Johnny McClyman, who is currently pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Music and Performance Studies here at the Mona campus. Johnny will enter her final year of studies in the upcoming academic year, 2024-2025. With an unwavering commitment to her craft, Johnny is a vocal prodigy and a songwriter who hails from the parish of Clarendon. Give her a hand, please. I know it had to be Clarendon, eh? Welcome, Johnny.
Greetings, everybody. How are we doing? We're good? We eat? No? All right, you look beautiful nevertheless. I don't take this opportunity lightly. I'm so happy that we have all decided to launch this policy. It is very fitting for the space that I reside, because I live here. So I am happy that we are putting such pertinent things in place. Let's go. Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter. I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out. Move mountains. I'll rise up high like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times. again. We'll rise up high like the waves. We'll rise up. We'll rise unafraid. We'll rise up. We'll do it 1,000 times again. For who? For you. For you. For you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, I know you feel like dying. We gotta move on, king the world to its feet. Move, mountain, bring it to its knees. Move. We'll rise up high like the waves. We'll rise up. We'll rise unafraid. We'll rise up. We'll do it 1,000 times again. Oh, for you. For you. For you. I love this part. All we need is hope, and that we have each other. Yes, and that we have each other. Oh, we will rise. We will rise. We will rise. We'll rise up. We'll rise up. We'll rise. We'll do it time and time. We'll rise up high like the waves. We'll rise up. We'll rise unafraid. We'll rise up. We'll do it 1,000 times again. For you. We'll do it for you. We'll do it for you. So, we're not ready yet, boss man. So this next song I'm gonna do, it was written and composed by myself and my really good friend, Wayne Marshall, one Marshall in town. When I wrote this song, I thought about Jamaica, and I thought about having a peaceful place to reside. Having a place where I don't have to look over my shoulder if I'm in a tank top or something sleeveless or at 9 o'clock in the night, especially residing on campus. So this is called Find a Way by Jenny McClymont and Wayne Marshall. Let's go. Until I find a peaceful place to rest, a place I be at ease and feel no pain. I'll walk this road and learn along the way. I'll meet my destiny, and on that day I'll find a way. I'll find a way to a land where lovers leave softly play. On wings of dreams our hopeful heart shall stay. We dance through the skies even if it's gray. I'll take this chance to wipe these tears away. Through the pain we'll get stronger for that day. When I find a way, I'll find a way to a land where lovers leap and no one cares. I'll find a way, I'll find a way to a land where melodies they softly play. That distant realm I seek to understand, basking in solace with the great I am. I'll find my purpose in that great unknown, in that great unknown. I'll find a way, I'll find a way to a land where lovers leap and no one cares. I'll find a way, I'll find a way to a place where melodies they softly play. I'll find a way, we'll find a way through the boundless skies. We'll find a way. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of.
See how clarinet people can sing. Thank you so much, Jenny. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some testimonial now from some of our students and stakeholders. So, may I direct your attention to the two screens to view them, please.
So thus far for me, this workshop has been very insightful. I've learned a lot of new things, such as the difference between sexual harassment and sexual assault. Actually didn't know the difference before this. I also learned about the different types of sexual harassment, and it was very crazy to actually go through them, because you wouldn't expect certain things to be sexual harassment. And I also learned about how important cultural awareness is when it comes to these important topics. This workshop is very important, especially in a university space where certain things are so normalized and you take a lot of things for granted. So I'm very happy that this workshop is happening, and it's very important that it's happening to get people sensitized and for them to know exactly, okay, this is what sexual harassment is, and these are the avenues you can take if you feel as if you've been sexually harassed. So this workshop, I'm very happy that I've attended. Today is day 3, and thus far I'm very happy to be here. And yeah, I love it.
So I'm really happy to see this program pan out on campus. I think it's going to affect a lot of students and going to have a major impact. I think the program is designed to answer a number of questions that students have, and I can't wait till August to see it affect the entire university campus.
Okay, hello, my name is Donnie Gale, and I am here at the Sexual Harassment
sensitization workshop, and I believe this is such a good initiative. Personally, I think the university should continue with this and fund it yearly so that we can ensure that this issue is something that we are constantly tackling. But yeah.
Boy, I don't know how to pass this course, you know. General style.
What will you study this week?
Hi, I'm studying statistics.
Oh, you guys ready for the text next week?
Yeah.
What if you ready for it?
Well, honestly.
Well, look at 90 on my coursework. I can help you study.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Alright, so yeah, can help you just carry over the one and just skip to my loop. And yeah, so I get an answer.
Get to man. Yeah.
You know, say you look good still. Carry me over to the dorm.
My dorm?
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know if they're so close to me.
I mean, man, but,
I did not sign up for this.
well, you know, you're going into it. Not talking, you know.
No.
I say, yo, man,
You want me to scream out in this, you know?
Could I get her still?
Cheyenne Miko. I was a part of the sexual harassment and prevention workshop, and my group was TikTok. That was what we did. Well, that was what my group did per se. I'm just going to speak a little bit about how the workshop went and the impact. So, as I stated before, I was a part of the sexual harassment and prevention workshop, and over the course of 4 days, it was 4 days in length, I had the opportunity to participate in the transformative workshop, and it focused on, obviously, sexual harassment and prevention. And the workshop was comprehensive and deeply engaging, providing valuable insights and hands-on experience. On day one, it was understanding sexual harassment, the difference between sexual harassment and sexual assault. The workshop began with an in-depth exploration of the constitutes of sexual harassment. We also delved into the distinctions between sexual harassment and sexual assault, which provided clarity in these critical issues. Dr. Carpenter, I'm not quite sure where she is. Hi. She also provided us with stories that actually assisted us with gaining a little bit more insight of what harassment is as per se as to what assault is. On day 3, it was the video production. Sorry, I jumped a little bit ahead. On day 2, we actually split into groups. We had the Blitz. We also had the peer advisor groups and my group, the TikTok, which I so humbly led. On the second day, we divided into groups to explore the impact of sexual harassment on different demographics, including students and adults of all ages. I had the honor of leading the TikTok group. Our goal was to creatively highlight the effects of sexual harassment through short, impactful videos. This division allowed participants to focus on areas they were passionate about and to leverage various media platforms to spread awareness. I do believe that these TikTok videos are on the IGDS Instagram page and TikTok, so you can go ahead and follow and also like, leave a comment, all of that. On day 3, the video production. So on the third day, we actually created these videos, did the TikToks, we did the editing to some essence, and we basically created the videos. We are now that are now proudly features on the Institute of Gender and Development Studies. Overall, the experience was an incredible experience. I believe I can speak for all the participants that actually went to the workshop, that it was amazing, impactful. It showcased the impact of sexual harassment on individuals, not only in schools, but also in workplace. Participating in this workshop has been both educational and empowering. I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead, learn, and also to contribute to raising awareness on this important issue. Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Michael John, and I'm the incoming Guild EAC for the UMona Guild of Students. And I am a recently certified and proud sexual harassment prevention and protection peer advisor through the IGS program. Now, I must commend the Institute of Gender and Development Studies for their efforts in involving students in this process, as we are key stakeholders in the university. Now, sexual harassment isn't a term that is foreign to us as students, as it is a common societal issue that plagues the Caribbean. However, we were not properly aware of the technical terms as well as the types of sexual harassment. And along the program, we saw where we had a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of these misconceptions about sexual harassment were addressed. After attending the first session, I realized that it was clear that the university was making strides to create a safer and more inclusive environment here on the university campus to address sexual harassment. Now, furthermore, it was more commendable of the university, once again, to ensure that students' voices were heard while making the policy. Now, students in the program contributed in various ways, as you would have seen on the TikTok. I starred in one of the videos. I also was the leader for the peer advisor group, where we discussed a number of things and how we'll move forward as students in helping our fellow students report cases and help them deal with it along the way. Now, these, as I said before, we had many misconceptions, but they were addressed in the videos, in the posters, and I'm happy that the persons who were there guiding us along ensure that we are properly aware so that we can inform students along the way. Now, we were eager to learn about sexual harassment as well as to create awareness here on the university campus. We were enthusiastic about bringing awareness to the issues and helping wherever we could, because we are fully aware of how students are affected by sexual harassment on the university campus. Now, the workshops held in March and the ceremony today symbolizes a change in the university campus here at Mona and acts as a beacon for the wider Jamaica and hopefully for the Caribbean to make necessary steps to do the same. Now, as a student leader, it makes me immensely happy to see the policies like these that are student-centric. As a student here at Mona campus, I speak for all students when I say that this is what we like to see from the university when it comes to student welfare, and we appreciate these efforts to ensure that students are safe. Thank you.
And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, they were not tutored. So give them a round of applause, please. $14 million, 200 students trained. Aren't we doing well? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the Minister of Gender, Entertainment, Culture, and Sports, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange. Please welcome her. And this shows her tremendous commitment to the prevention of sexual harassment and to our efforts here at UMona. And every politician, every good politician, timing is just impeccable. So she came right on time for Principal Williams to present to her a copy of the UWI Sexual Harassment Policy and Procedures. Minister Grange, Principal, and after that, we'll ask Minister Grange to make some remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You should send the fan as well. It's very hot in here. And since I was sprinting like Usain Bolt to get here, you know, you can well imagine. So Dr. Donovan Stanbury, campus registrar, principal, Denzel Williams, and I must say that I had to be here. You have invited me to so many other events, and I've just not been able to make it. So I was determined that if it's even to show my face, I would be here. And of course, I want to thank Mrs. Blackwood for being here to read my message. Thank you so much. I also wish to acknowledge, I understand the British High Commissioner was here. She has left, but I just want to acknowledge the fact that she was here. Faculty, staff, students, and other distinguished guests. I was delayed in Parliament because we had to vote. And you know, for a politician, voting is critical and very important. And so I had to remain in Parliament. So I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. And I don't have to say much because Mrs. Blackwood presented my speech. But I just wanted to mention here that, you know, I want to congratulate university for ensuring that your policy was completed and presented before the deadline, the end of June. And I want to indicate to other institutions and to private sector that they should follow your example and make sure by the end of June they have their policy in place. I've actually written to all the ministries, departments, and agencies and indicate to them as well that there will be no exception. They must have their policy ready. But I wanted to also indicate that recently the National Police College of Jamaica, the JCF, under the Ministry of National Security, embarked on a training course. And in fact, the investigative level 1 sexual harassment training course 2024 spanned the period of March 25 to April 2nd. And it equipped participants with the requisite information, knowledge, and skills to ramp up the services which are provided to persons seeking guidance and redress for matters relating to the vexed issue of sexual harassment. And the theme was assisting the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport in achieving its mandate using training, science, technology, and an investigative mindset. And it underscored the commitment to tackle sexual harassment head-on and mitigate sexual harassment effectively. So the training was conducted by the Department of Criminal Investigation at the National Police College of Jamaica in Twickenham Park. And it created an ideal setting for learning and professional development. And the course covered the criminal, civil, and administrative investigative processes with a huge focus on moral and ethical approaches. And of course, that training will foster a deeper understanding of the collaborative nature of sexual harassment investigations. It was tailored to offer practical exercises such as investigative interviewing using the PEACE model, statement types, courtroom preparation, including witness testimony, and the court process to ensure hands-on experience. And so I really was very happy that the JCF was part of this, and the training included persons from the ministry as well as the JCF. So I really want to thank the university for being a part of that whole process, because sexual harassment, you know, it's neutral gender, which is good, although more women are harassed than men. And most of the perpetrators are men. But there are instances where men can be harassed too. And so we wanted to ensure that the legislation took both sexes under consideration. I also want to highlight the fact that Jamaican men like to admire women. And sometimes they admire them to the extent where they may say something or do something that could be seen as offensive. It's all about the person receiving the message. I remember as a young girl growing up, that we have a saying, they would love to seat you. Yeah, everybody know of that? Seats. You know, and they're making eyes at you and all of that. And sometimes you resent it. Yes. Right? Yes. And they wouldn't understand why, but it's sexual harassment. And there's a thin line between sexual harassment and sexual assault. Because if you touch the person, you're assaulting the person. But it's important that we understand that how you conduct yourself is very important within the context of this legislation. Because someone may say, boy, you're looking beautiful today, and I like how you, whatever. And the person receiving it may not like it. And you don't understand why. So it is important that we understand within the context of this legislation how you conduct yourself. It is a good test for us. It's a good opportunity for both men and women to understand that you must be respectful and you must conduct yourself in a manner that you do not offend the person with whom you are communicating. So I want to thank Mrs. Blackwood for filling in for me. I must tell you, this lady, Mrs. Blackwood, is, she has been in the civil service for many, many years. She was part of the team that developed the concept for the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation, where pregnant teenage girls are assisted to continue their education and to take them through their pregnancy, as well as to provide nursery for the kids after they've had their babies and while they're continuing their education, and take them through to tertiary. So Mrs. Blackwood here was part of that team that introduced the program. And she was also the person who pulled together and initiated the sports policy, which is titled Sports for All. So she's an institutional knowledge and she's institutional memory. And she's now my consultant and advisor. And I really say to all of you that she was appropriately selected to represent me, to be my stand-in, just in case I was delayed in Parliament. So I want to commend the university. I want to thank the principal for inviting me and for Mr. Stanbury for ensuring that I made it here. Although he was told that maybe I would not make it because of Parliament, he insisted he was willing to take the risk. And so I had to be here for you. Thank you so much for accepting my apology for being late. God bless you all. Thank you. I really look forward to handing over your policy to the Bureau of Gender Affairs and to always commend you for being out there ahead of all the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please give the minister another round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to an end. Probably one of our final acts in our 2-year stint as Guild President. It is the opportunity and great privilege for our Guild President, Ms. Amalor Wilson, to do the vote of thanks. Please welcome her.
All protocols observed. Good evening, everyone. I am honored to have been called upon to deliver the vote of thanks for the significant launch of the UWI Mona Sexual Harassment Prevention and Protection Policy. And it's a privilege, to say the least, to express a collective gratitude for the efforts and supports that have made this initiative possible. And the truth about it is, sexual harassment is a serious issue that affects individuals all across different demographics, and our university is no exception. And as a place of learning and a place of growth and development, it is imperative that UWI Mona stands as a beacon of safety and, of course, of support. And this policy serves as a foundation for that commitment, and it's ensuring that our students can pursue their education free from sexual fear and intimidation. Therefore, there is gratitude in our attitude this evening. So allow me a quick 5 minutes, quick, to just say thank you to the following individuals. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister Oliver Grange, who is the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, Dr. Stanbury. And Minister Grange, of course, I was a little bit nervous because I was saying, all right, Minister is not going to be here, I can relax a little, but then you appeared and I got tense. But it's okay. Your dedication to the betterment of our nation and, of course, your unwavering support for initiatives like this inspires us all. And to Mrs. Florette Blackwood, who is a senior strategist on gender at the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. Your expertise and your guidance have been instrumental in shaping the policy, and to step in for the ministry shows that your mindset towards this is above and beyond whenever and whatever necessary means. And we're deeply grateful for your contributions. And your presence here today is deeply appreciated, and it reinforces the importance of this policy. To Senator Gabriela Morris, in her absence, who is the opposition spokesperson on youth and civic education, I want to thank her for her continued advocacy for the youth and for being supportive for this crucial initiative. Our heartfelt thanks also goes out to our Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal for UWI Mona Campus, Professor Denzel Williams, and of course, I think the Pro-Vice Chancellor for the UWI Global Campus is nearby, Dr. Francis Severin, yes? In his absence, for, of course, your leadership and commitment to fostering a safe and supportive environment for all members of the university community. We are grateful to the acting deputy principal of the Mona campus, Professor Reed, our campus registrar, Dr. Stanbury, and deputy campus registrar, Mr. Archie, for your invaluable contributions. Of course, our campus bursar and other members of the university executive and campus management teams, including my
deans. And I say thank you so much for being out here this evening because your support has been indispensable. A special thank you goes out in her absence to Her Excellency British High Commissioner Judith Slater and other members of the Diplomatic Corps for your presence and your endorsement of this important initiative. I've had the privilege of engaging in crucial conversations with Mrs. Slater, and I know for a fact that being here and her support today is no surprise. She's really and truly behind all things for gender equality and support. Dr. Karen Carpenter and your team at the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, your tireless efforts and your dedication have culminated in this groundbreaking policy. And we recognize the hard work, we recognize the late nights and the unwavering commitments that you and your team has put forward, and of course what it took to bring this to fruition. Sorry? I said the word right? Fruition? Look at me. And we move. And of course, we are grateful for that, you know. Heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flights. To the members of the UWI Mona Guild Council, both outgoing and incoming, and of course to all our students here, thank you for your active participation and of course your support. Your voices and your experiences have been crucial in driving this initiative forward. To all other stakeholders and members of the university community, thank you again for being here this evening. In conclusion, in my vote of thanks, I might have been called upon to do the vote of thanks because I'm a student who loves to talk. But at the end of the day, I'm eager to reflect on our deep gratitude for our university's pioneering steps to implementing this policy. And as a student leader, I have seen firsthand the importance of addressing sexual harassment and ensuring that our university is a safe space, not just for girls, not just for boys, not just for students, not just for staff, but for everyone. Thank you all for your contributions and for being here today to celebrate this milestone. And I end with the words of the Guild motto, which works perfectly as the national policy is set to start or to be in effect the same day the new Guild tenure is set to start, which is June 1st. I end by saying together, we can make it happen. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and have yourselves a good evening.
Thank you so much, Amalora. Culture, gender, entertainment, and sport. Give me a clap now, man. Thank you all for coming. Minister, I thank you so much. I know what it is with Parliament, but I'm very heartened that you made it even at the last moment. Thank you, Ms. Blackwood, and the team from the ministry, and our students who were so patient. At one time I thought we would have lost our audience, but it shows your commitment to sexual harassment. Thank you all, team. We have refreshments. Please enjoy, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.